Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to biology. Regardless of the situation of the coronavirus, we are still trying to give students something to read. And today I want us to discuss something in Form 1 about biology. That is on the scientific naming of organisms. So we are going to discuss our topic as scientific naming of organisms. Scientific naming of organisms. In our previous discussion, we discussed about how the organisms are named. We use the trivial names, the names you use in your mother tongue. But now as biologists, as scientists now, we use scientific names. We use the naming of this organism. Every organism is named using the scientific language. And this scientific naming was done long time ago by one scientist by the name Carolus Linnaeus or Linnaeus. That is the man who is behind this scientific naming. He's the one who did this naming of all these plants using the science in it. And this one, he used language, Latin language is the one which was used. They did not use the local languages, they used Latin. What was the essence of using these Latin names? The Latin language was used because of two main reasons. One, it was a language. This was the language which was used. The language which was used by scientists during that time. It was a language which was used. Like now, if you want to name something, you use English because it's what we are using today. But that time, they were using Latin language. That's the reason why it was used. The reason number two, it is widely and worldly known. In every place you find that you cannot miss a Latin person speaking Latin. Especially if you go even to the churches, the priests, most of them, they know how to use the Latin. So this language is used not like any other local language, like the languages we have in Kenya. No, it is used widely and worldly. Not like Swahili, which is just used in a local area. Now, in this one, when he was doing this, when Carolus Linnaeus was giving organisms this name, he used the system known as binomial nomenclature. He used a system known as binomial nomenclature. The word bi, what do you mean by the word bi? Bi always means two. Bi means two. Meaning, he was giving these organisms two names. He was giving organisms, this is giving organisms two names using sets of rules. He was giving organisms two names using sets of rules. Now, this name he was giving, the names we are speaking about here, the two names, one name is the genus name, and the other one is the species name. You remember when we were discussing about taxonomic units, we mentioned about these two lower. This is the second lower, this is the lowest. So he was giving organisms the genus and the species names. What are these rules? We have said that he was giving organisms two names. We have seen about the two names using the sets of rules. He was using the sets of rules. Now, because of these rules, we want to know what are these rules he was using. So, the rules of binomial nomenclature. Rules of binomial nomenclature. What are these rules? Rule number one. The first letter of genus name should start with a capital letter, while the species name, the first letter, remember about the first letter. While the first letter of species name, they also call it specific name of species name to start with a small letter. I will demonstrate on this. For example, when we say the first letter of genus name, for example, there is a common plant by the name blackjack. Blackjack is just a common name. But now, in scientific name, it is known as Bidens pilosa. Now, in this one, when we want to apply the first letter of the genus name should start with a capital letter. So the first one, this one, should always start with a capital letter, Bidens pilosa. The second one, the P for the one pilosa, should start with a small letter. That is the first rule we have. Now, the second rule, number 2. If these names are handwritten, they should be underlined separately. So you underline separately if handwritten. If they are not handwritten, they are typed, they should be typed in, if typed, they should be in italics. Italics are the letters which are written at an angle, the italicized one. So what do we mean here? The first rule we have said, it must start with a capital letter. This one, the species name is a small letter. So these ones we are saying they should be underlined separately, the two names. You should not write Bidens pilosa, then you underline this one. This one is wrong. It should be this one. You should not write like this, pilosa. This one makes it wrong. So it should be having all those two rows. This one, the genus, this one we are saying that this one is a genus name, and this one is the species name. That one is genus name and the species name. If you give, for example, another example of maize, the maize plant. We have another example. We can have the maize plant. Scientifically, it is known as Zinnes. Now, if you want to apply the rules here, look at this. Z, this one, it is supposed to be capital. And we are saying that this one is a genus name, and this one is a species name. So in our rule, the first rule says so. The first letter of the genus name should start with a capital letter. Zeamis, Zeamis. Z is starting with a capital letter. Then, while the first letter of the species name, which is M, it should be a small letter. So what is remaining here now? It is rule number 2. Underline separately. Because we are doing handwriting, so we are going to underline them separately. This is the best way you write that name. Then there is another rule, which is that one. Sometimes we find that there are those names, the new plants which are identified, and they lack the Latin name. So what do you do then? You Latinize the newly identified plants. If Latin name is missing, listen here, if Latin one is missing, the one is missing, what do you do to these ones? You Latinize them. You Latinize those things. You Latinize those names. What do you mean by this? There is aloe vera plants. Aloe vera, that is the aloe vera plant which was identified in Kilifi. One time it was identified in Kilifi. So they called it, because there is no other Latin word for Kilifi. There is no other word for Kilifi in Latin. So they called it Aloe kilifiensis. The only kilifiensis Kilifiensis now, you can see the word was Kilifi. But now they have to Latinize it to make it a scientific word, Kilifiensis. So Aloe Kilifiensis now becomes a scientific name of that aloe plant identified in Kilifi. There is another one, like the Kikuyensis. If, for example, it is the name of a person, you also Latinize. So if those names are not there in Latin, you are supposed to Latinize them. Now, if we go to now some of the questions you get in the exam on this part, very fast, we discuss about some of the questions you may get in the exam. In the exam, you will be asked that a certain plant is known as Bidens pilosa. A certain plant is known as Bidens pilosa. What does the word pilosa refer to? What does the word pilosa refer to? What does it refer to? It refers, just answer, it refers to species. So that is a simple way. What does it? You can be asked, what does the word Bidens refer to? It refers to genus. So that is one of the parts you can get in the exam. The other one, they can ask you, they can write it Bidens pilosa. Then you are told, identify the mystic. The mystics, what are the mystics? What are the mystics here in this part? What are the mystics? Mystic number one, the first name did not start with a capital letter. The second one started with a capital letter. So it was supposed to start with a, this one is supposed to start with a, so this one, the mistakes are two. The first mistake, he or she started the genus name with a small letter. Here, he started with a capital letter. Remember, you identified the mistake. Then number two can be told to rectify. So if you are told to rectify now the mistake of the students, you just write Bidens pilosa. Bidens pilosa, and you underline. The other mistake you can identify, they were not underlined separately. So that is a part you get always in the exam when you are told about the scientific naming of organisms. Make sure that you do some more revision on that part. And I'm sure with that you can be able to get everything about the scientific naming. Maybe you ask about the father of scientific naming of organism, just see Carolus Linus. Now for that we can conclude for that today. So that next time we are going to discuss more about this scientific naming when time comes. Enjoy your small day and always read and take care and sanitize. Thank you very much.